Yes, then many thanks also from my side and a warm welcome to this webinar. We have in the next couple of minutes exciting stuff with us about the future of software asset management using AI powered on RAINET 1. Um, but maybe just to give you a little intro, who is today the presenters. So I have Marcin with me. He will introduce himself in a minute. My name is Christoph Gohmann. I'm from Deloitte. I'm the item and SAM lead for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And we have worked in the last 6 months intensively with RAINET on developing a platform, AI-based platform for software asset management, which we want to give you today an insight into. But maybe before we dive into the details, maybe Marcin, would you give a couple of words to your person?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Maciej Żurowski. I'm Director of Products and Innovations at RAINET. Me and my colleagues, we've spent like last 15 years building solutions that connect various areas from software deployment, packaging, item, cybersecurity, licensing, and probably even more. But today we are taking it to the next step, applying AI on top of our RAINET 1 platform. And I'm super excited to show you how this works in practice. And together we will explore a couple of real use cases.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. And let's go into what do we have today for you on the agenda? We will show you a little bit of future of SAM. Where did we come from? What were the main driver? As already mentioned by Marcin, software asset management is nothing new, but how can we bring in AI and how can we make the life of software asset management more simple, more easy, more productive, more outcome orientated based on AI? And number three, we have a live demo, so we can show a lot of slides, but I think it's really cool to see the tool in real life, how the tool is acting, how the tool is working. And in the end, we have also a Q&A session, so any questions you may have, don't hesitate to bring them up. If we go into the details, what's our vision? We clearly understood from our clients and what we have seen in various services about the last 10, 12, 15 years that software asset management is a specialized practice where you need to be an expert in tooling and data. And we want to change that. So our AI vision is to empower clients to effectively interact with software usage data, contracts, independently if that's for server clients or cloud, and that we provide an AI-powered report generation, predictive demand analytics, and optimize IT spend. So what does that actually mean? And there are a lot of keywords in empower, effective, interact, software usage data. So we will see that in a couple of minutes how we have broken down this AI vision into real live IT and into a real software asset management tool based on RAINET 1 and how that actually looks like. But maybe to ramp a little bit back, why RAINET Deloitte? And why are we presenting today in a joint session between our two houses here to you? We understood quite early that technology and knowledge needs to go hand in hand. And so from Deloitte perspective, it was clear from day one that RAINET 1, as we are working since more than 10 years together in technology space, that we are starting the journey on AI together with RAINET and to continue the journey of RAINET here together. RAINET platform as the fundamental basis of everything we do. Discover to manage as the slogan, which is still up to date, combined with more than 1,000 full-time employees of Deloitte doing software asset management on a global level, is our intention to bring together technology, data from technology with Deloitte knowledge in a joint solution. What is our joint offering? Future SAM solution for global software vendor management, world-leading SAM expertise, but also a safe journey to start with SAM services into a smoothly migration into AI. And we all want to welcome you to join this journey. How that exactly looks like, again, we will show you in a minute, and also how you can participate on that. But what were the key driver and what maybe also differs our approach from all the other approaches you can see out there in the market? I think AI is a slogan a lot of clients and a lot of service and technology provider are currently using. But we said there are four essential parts which are essential to be successful. The item technology, RAINET one, with the connectors, with the catalog, or with the agent-based or zero-touch scanning, with all the power of item one as the foundation. But we said we need to go beyond. So we said we need to have tons of data to support the AI and to empower an AI to learn and to become better. So we have already, and we can proudly announce, more than 10 clients who are actively supporting us and joining our vision here of AI with their data, with their information, and with their IT environment to really empower us to train the AI. The AI expertise. We said it's good if you have a platform, it's good if you have data, but we need AI expertise. So we brought in the Deloitte AI Studio to combine that with the RAINET developers and to bring AI knowledge combined with the RAINET leading IT asset management technology together. And in the end, we need to have knowledge about software, software licensing, how software is being licensed, what are terms, what are conditions. So that's in the end where the software asset management team of Deloitte plays into. And in the end, RAINET technology, RAINET developers combined with client data, with AI expertise and software asset management. That's in the end the product you can see today, the end result you can see today, which is a result out of it. But what has really driven us to do that? And here on that slide, quickly summarized, we see that the IT is constantly changing. We see costs are going through the roof. You can see here Gartner numbers, 2022, 10%, 2023, 13%, 2024, 14%. And I think it's quite unlikely that the unit cost of software will go down. There's some negotiation power to negotiate maybe better contracts, but we said we need also to focus on the technical side. How can an AI empower us to identify technical optimizations? The digitalization is going forward. More and more software is being used. More pricey software is used. Now AI software is coming into organizations. Silos, multi-cloud approaches, just to name a couple of them, are making life more complex and easier. And with that, we said we need, and that's the slogan you can see in the middle section and the lower part, we are enforcing via our AI solution to replace time-consuming and error-prone manual work via AI. So what you will see, and Marcin will show that to you, the AI can take over data analytics, the data aggregation, the normalization, can even drive reporting, even license compliance calculations can be done already in the AI to empower software asset management to work with the results. Means to empower software asset manager to drive value within their organization based on an AI as the platform, as the foundation of our doing. But what exactly have we developed, and what exactly will Marcin show you in a minute? So you have two circles here on that page. You have the inner circle, that's the conventional IT asset management, catalog, connectors, you have zero-touch scanning. That all will stay, that's all still the foundation of getting data, of processing data. But what we have added is the outer circle, the SAM AI powered by RAINET one. In the left top corner, you can see a contract and PO upload. So we have empowered RAINET one to analyze PDFs, Word document, even pictures via your iPhone. You can upload contracts, purchase orders, commercial documents. The AI will analyze it, extract the key results, the key data points out of the documents, given end user the ability to review, and in the end, feed this information automatically back into the database to process it for software asset management. The chat-based interaction, so on the top right corner, we said we need to make it more simple to process and to access information. So we have built a Rainy. It's a chatbot where you can interact with all information. You want to know how many Windows Server you have? You can put it into the chat, you get the results. You want to know how Windows Server licensing works? So you want to access knowledge? You can put it in the chat, you get a result. You want to calculate how many Windows Server you need for a certain cluster? You can put it in the chat and you get the answer. So the overall idea is to make it as simple as possible to interact with all information in a software asset management tool, independently if it is commercial information about contracts and licenses, technical information about deployments and installations, or if it is knowledge, how software is being licensed. And then we have a couple of more. You see license optimization. So the AI can already predict us and help us to identify optimization potentials. How many licenses are utilized? How many licenses are maybe free? What software was used last? How can I optimize? Where can I save money? The AI is already today in a position to recommend to us optimization potentials, again, under the motto to empower stakeholder to drive value with that results. Renewal tracking. If we can upload contracts and POs, the next logical step for us was that we have a renewal tracking on AI. So the AI is already automatically populating a calendar. So the renewal tracking is not a manual work anymore. The AI is helping us to do that. So we can put in automatically into a calendar what's the expiration date. We can put in warnings. We can get empowered by AI to drive all kinds of renewals. Software merger and portfolio management. Where do we have overlaps in software functionalities? Zoom, WebEx, Teams, all three softwares are doing the same, more or less. But what is really the differentiation on a feature level? And how can we maybe optimize? Do we really need to pay licenses for all three products, or is there maybe a way to optimize? Compliance calculations I mentioned already. Martin will show you later on a prompt on that. And also the predictive analytics means also showing historical trends. How does license consumption have evolved over time? Also to have budgeting processes, but also to do a prediction. How does the future of software license consumption in your organization can look like? But now I've talked a lot, and I would like to hand over, Martin, to you to give the colleagues a little bit an insight how the tool is looking like and giving some real cases in Rainet.
Okay, thank you. Just 1 second for logistics here. But I hope now my screen should be visible with bright new Rainet 1.
Yes.
Correct?
We can see the IT visibility.
Exactly. So IT visibility is our portal to everything. So welcome to Rainet 1. It's our platform, which actually has been available for quite some time, so to say. So many of you might have been already using this. And you certainly recognize a lot of features, a lot of use cases over there. So like I mentioned at the beginning, there is software management, hardware asset management, something for security, cyber security, analysis of gaps, import from third-party systems, portfolio, and many, many more. But today, I won't be focusing that much on them. I mean, they are still the platform, and we are building on top of that, which means maybe not directly, but indirectly, these are going to be interesting data points and important, so to say, factors that fit into AI workflows and obviously that influence the decision making. So instead of spending too much time over there, I will just focus 2 key improvements that we did in last month. One is the license management, where there's all new things, including but not limited to contract management, renewals, and stuff like that are contained within. And there is also an icon which should already ring a bell, and an AI which will bring us a chat-driven experience that we can talk to the product, that we can explain what we need, and the model behind understands and provides us inputs. So why don't we have a few seconds, just go through quickly over license management. Again, I won't be really going too much into details because it's much more, so to say, expressive to go over the language, natural language processing. So just for the sake of clarity, the license management consists as pretty much every use case at Rainet 1 with a little dashboard, just to give you a quick introduction, get started, know where we are. There is also drill down options so we can navigate to the correct areas. There is a powerful license contract management. So we can already see a bunch of contracts which were uploaded, but also that is going to be part of a little nice demo. Maybe later on, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how this gets populated instead of tedious work, instead of manual import, that it goes fully automatically, well, also with help of AI that is hidden behind. Like already mentioned, from imported, for example, PO or any other kind of document, we are able to build a calendar overview. So again, no need to track it manually. If there is some date and the AI understands this might be the renewal date or a deadline or stuff like that, it's going to be automatically imported and shown as a kind of agenda for us. So we can start every day with the right plan and know what to take care of, at least in the first order. Arguably, two most interesting things are entitlements and compliance, so kind of product rights on this page. Also a couple of products already here with different models, different metrics, quantities, and we could also drill down and see details of each one, showing the history, the timeline, when was done what, and also explore some other options. And finally, the compliance will tell us, all right, based on this user rights and the contracts that we were discussing, like where are we with each product? Again, with metric, how many entitlements we have, what's the actual consumption, do we have any downgrade or upgrade rights, and essentially speaking at the end, building up the balance plus prices and the status of our compliance. There is a lot of flexibility and customization here. So I would say this view should be nothing new to people that are doing license management, that do it every day. But what is kind of new and kind of exciting is the way you interact with this data. So without knowing too much about how our product works, where to find these details, what to click on, instead letting you use the tool, but focusing on your own business, on your own domain of expertise. And this is all done with help of, like I already introduced, our chat, Rainy, which we can start now. Now, obviously, if you worked, I guess, probably everyone already had some experiences. If you work with any tools using LLM, ChatGPT, Cloudy, and many more, you should be pretty familiar with the experience. Essentially speaking, you write prompts, and the prompts are literally your intents, what you want to do, but they don't have to be really specific. You don't have to know the product, just describe what you think, what kind of answer you need, and we'll take care of that. And speaking of that, again, assuming we have zero knowledge, so to say, we may start with something simple. I'm going to put a little prompt and explain in a moment what's so interesting about it. So we can start, and maybe I'll zoom it a bit. So the screen is now paused, but we'll see the answer in a moment. I'm just writing, okay, I'm new here, but I want some general statement about, so what are my to-dos? What are my primary concerns? Just give me some hints, just give me some get started. So again, not knowing which screen, which data source, which system I have. And as you can see, it's actually already providing me an answer in the background, which highlights already a couple of interesting points. First of all, to the domain, it actually gave me top 3. So I'm pretty much focused. Maybe I can scroll a bit just to see the beginning. Gave me some insights, top 3, with points, but these are again bullet points, which refer to both generic knowledge, but apparently also to what I already have in my system. So it identified that I may have some end-of-life product. And another interesting part is here. So when answering, we are not only relying on the model itself. Like you might know, models tend to do nasty things. They tend to provide not precise or fake answers, but we are actually injecting the business context into it. So specialized knowledge, not relying on the pure model. And as such, we get really, really decent answers. And I'll be also talking about it as we go through a couple of next prompts. Importantly enough is also a view with the artifacts where we see it might be a grid, a pie chart, or any way to visualize what we just got. So it's really kind of say multi-mode, different visualization, text, rich text, bullet points. And obviously, there is always a way to refer back, fine-tune, ask for some more details, drill down, and as such, build the experience. So that's just for our good start in the day. Let's now maybe do something similar. Assume we just got a document. Like I'm going to take something and show you in a moment what this document is. Please summarize in 6 bullet points. What is this document about? And as the model is thinking, I'm just going to show you what I just uploaded. It's a big document, 21 pages in a PDF format, a lot of content. Obviously, no time to really go through into details, but just assume 21 pages. How much time would it take to scan this all and understand? But with AI, obviously, things like that are much more simpler. So it just takes a few seconds to upload the document. It's going to be summarized. And again, since my intent was to get 6 bullet points, well, I'll get 6 bullet points saying what is so special about this document. And as always, I could go and drill down and go any further. So this was like the extension. We just got some document, want to understand, here we go, that's the content. Let's now try to do something which is, we can also maybe switch to this view. I'm going to add a new chat just to split maybe my responsibilities or conversations, but it's also interesting, all stuff is present here. So we can always go back in history and see what was my recommendation from, for example, yesterday. Now this new prompt, again, slightly zoomed to make it readable. I'm asking the Rainy chat, what's my overview of business functions, specifically of the entitlements, product uses in different categories, and is there any place to maybe rationalize? Give me some, like I said, extra steps. So what's actually happening in the background? We obviously ask now something a bit smarter because the system needs to go and delve and drill down into the actual data source which we have in the background, which is also confirmed by this little badge over there, retrieving all entitlements. And in a matter of a few seconds, I'm going to get a pretty decent overview. Again, on the right side, there is some visualization in a grid one. I could export it to the Excel format and maybe send it over via email. And it actually did what I wanted. So my intent was, again, to get the overview of business functions plus entitlements, which I got here. So these are the functions. The technology catalog from Rainet is also helping here to understand which product is doing, say, what. And also it identified there may be some like legacy products, which probably is right. Since many of these are actually the same databases, there may be some duplicate version sprawl, which we should probably take care of. Maybe there is also a way to save a few resources or a few bucks. Subscription, contracts, quantity, all these aspects are analyzed and used to produce the recommendations, which are at the end very straightforward if we summarize all this knowledge together. So to sum it up, the system is doing a pretty decent job. It just did a quick scan of my system, and well, that part is really where AI turns, so to say, asset data into the actual business insights. Now you might ask, the entitlements, there were already a couple of them which I had in my system, and I promise I'm going to go and show you something interesting, like how do we get all of this? How do I define my product right, but without typing too much? And we have a really cool module, which is to, obviously you can enter it manually, kind of old school, enter a text, could be an email, but for me, the most important and interesting one is ability to import a file and have AI scan for it and automatically provide, for example, from PO, which products we just bought, what are our rights and how many and how much did we pay. And I'm going to do a little demo on that. So let me upload maybe a file like this. And it's uploading now. And I'm going to show you interesting stuff. So obviously, if you get a file like this, it's pretty straightforward, easy to parse, easy to interpret, no big deal. But what about if the document we have is this one? Now, as you may see, this is probably some bad quality JPEG, compressed using JPEG, I guess. There is some product mentioned here. This is a PDF, but from the title, it seems that it was converted to Word. So like really, really weird chain and really crazy stuff over there. And typing this and finding this information manually could be time consuming. And obviously we could make a lot of mistakes, error, typos, but the module, so I'm going back here, it actually now extracted the PDF file, was pretty fast and accurate. So it identified contract ID, the currency, the cost, who was the customer, and most importantly, it also was able to identify which product is this, plus what is this product doing. Again, at this place, catalog is helping us and says, this is a file format support for Babel edit. And since AI can sometimes make mistakes with files like that, there's also a right-hand side so we can see what was imported and how much confident our system was. And there is, as with many aspects in Rainet 1, ability to fix this, to say, no, I meant something different. Or maybe I just bought some different product which was not mentioned clearly here, but I know it's there, so I can use the wizard to also edit. So if I go back now to our chat, this is more like a way to import it and to have these entitlements created automatically for me. Now, let's do another interesting aspect, the end-of-life management. What about if we ask the system something like that? Again, let me make it bigger. Tricky, like we want to know what is expiring in the next 3 months, so approaching end of support, but also we want to know which products and on which version level are there. So while the question might be actually pretty simple, there is a lot of, so to say, heavy lifting involved, including but not limited to a special call to our technology catalog. So we identify which software is installed in the environment, and we also pull the end of life from our catalog. So this gives us already some good table. And probably the next step could be, I don't know, maybe create me an email or inform my administrator about this. But knowing is the first step. And that's exactly where the AI was super, super helpful by combining values and products and technology catalog enrichment to a single place, to a single answer. We can also use maybe the same or something similar, like this was about software. We can also ask about unsupported Windows Server, so an operating system. And again, the logic will be pretty straightforward. I guess this query might actually take slightly more because of what it's now asking for. What we really need is we need to know like which version of Windows Server in this case has end of life on which day, plus, well, which machine is having which server. So here is the list of my devices. This is just some dummy data, so there's not many of them, but it clearly mentions a couple of my systems might actually be under consideration. I should check them. So again, end of lives and end of supported dates are pulled from the catalog. Okay, let's maybe do something about vulnerabilities. So again, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to start a new chat just to split these things together. And we can make the following statement. So we want an overview of vulnerabilities which are in my IT environment based on the scanning from RAINET 1, plus some little visualization for my management. So again, this will take just a moment. And I guess in this case, we should get some pretty nice dashboard. At least it's preparing some insights. And based on the chain of thoughts over there, we see how our prompt was kind of processed. So we first went into our business analytics to see what we have, and now it's going to generate me a dashboard. Depending on complexity of my query and also the way I formulate my problem, it might be more or less. So let's just give it a try and see what kind of business intelligence we'll get. I guess it will just take maybe a few seconds more. And the logic, again, is pretty straightforward. Like I explained, it's always the same process, just finding out the data and producing some right visualization. So what we can see now on the right-hand side is an interactive grid where we can see, export, sort, order, and even a little pie chart was added here with overview, how many of them are high. So again, maybe a get started, maybe just a portal to identify things, but giving us already some good place to go, and we can drill down, we can ask further. Let's do something different. I mentioned at the beginning that we support software and hardware management, including but not limited to virtual devices and clusters. So I could also ask like which clusters we have installed. And this is just a pretty straightforward query that will take a look like what we have in our system. We'll do some like exploratory work. We'll drill down the devices and pull the information that I asked. So in a matter of time, I should get all my Windows Server clusters installed over there. I can obviously still review this information, and so there is some more text. The grid works also pretty cool. The table probably is more explaining than what you see on the right-hand side. And now let's put some context into it. We could ask how basically Windows Server is licensed. I assume everyone knows, but who knows? And which information would we need from our tool to check are we compliant or not? So how many licenses are we consuming? So actually a split here. two questions. The first one will probably get to our codex. Codex is just a curated way of aggregating relevant licensed software and also hardware asset management knowledge. So in a world of license management, where a single digit or a single letter can actually change a lot, it's important that we don't rely, like I said in the beginning, just on what the model thinks or what it was like scanning over the internet, but on something which is more, say, tangible, more real. And we have a codex for that, a collection of curated knowledge about how, for example, SQL Server or Microsoft Windows is installed. And each time the rainy chat needs to get some more context or understanding, it will get that information and use it to actually formulate that. In this case, there are some like minimums and licensing by core, which is, I guess, proper for Windows Server licensing. Obviously, each product is different, and that's exactly where codex and LLM capabilities are for you. So let's maybe drill it further, staying on this screen. We could now maybe ask, so, okay, we know what we need, but now, again, let's maybe make it a bit bigger. There was some like cluster mentioned. So I now want to know what would be required to actually check the licensing of that server, knowing that what we had in our chat. So specifically about probably these 4 points. So as you can see, it was also doing a little bit of thought here, doing my cluster infrastructure and producing me now some more detailed, slightly different results, including but not limited to how many cores we have in each machine and whether this is a virtual machine or not. So that's already something. And now further on, I could, for example, ask whether, for example, switching to maybe a different model of my licensing, which I know from my entitlements would bring me result, bring me some maybe lower price, or would be more, let's say, future-oriented by analyzing the trends. So there is a lot of things which can be done here. And the info, like I said, combined from some information, but also enriched by catalog, by codex, all put together and giving the right and straight answer to understand. I'm just taking a look at the time. It seems that we are pretty good. So maybe we can actually follow up on this. Like, okay, so now we need to know test. Test.
Yes, we can still hear you.
Yeah, I just had some weird signal in my headphones, but now I'm back. So good. What I wanted to know is now, okay, given that, how many Windows Server data center? I guess it was about data center. We'll see. Server standard. Okay, probably this demo would probably, oh no, it actually delivered. So good. I asked about, so what is exactly my need? How many licenses I need versus what I might have in my environment. And it did some math. That math is based on previous answers that we got. It identified my cluster host, how many cores they have. It also repeated itself on the minimums, on some license peculiarities, that there are some different ways to do that, just as simple as that as I need for my use cases. And then there are like two different options presented, like what could I do to actually license this combination, whether 2 core packs or maybe 16 core packs on virtual level, on host level. A lot of things are there. And as with every single item here, you can drill down, you can ask follow-up questions to explain, maybe again heading back to Codex to get some more details about how this actually works. Now, obviously, on-prem is important, but these days, SaaS products are getting even more important. Actually, probably more expenditures these days are on SaaS than on on-prem stuff. So let me analyze the query like that, make it like bigger. I'm now getting to Microsoft 365 query, and I want to identify how many have been inactive in the last 3 months. Again, just a starting point. It's not yet about trigger an action, just to know. There is like some little bit flavor that I need total number of inactive licenses, per type, so more like how to visualize. And I don't want to see individual users. It's not my intent. I just want to see the high-level overview. Now, if we take a look at the chain of thoughts, which is already started, We see that, okay, it understood. Now Microsoft 365 data is going to be relevant. So it hits most likely, I guess, to our data hub, having the data for it, requesting pricing details if available, and then providing me my summary, which says, okay, I have just only 2 licenses, which is probably good. Annual price estimated for 190. So then doing a little bit month, estimated per month, and then giving me the answer that I potentially might have a little bit of saving here. Not much, but just showing you the idea how easy it was to ask that kind of question and how different sources are combined to come up with the answer. Now there's going to be something even more interesting. So I already started talking about, let's say, a third-party interfaces. It could be 365, but it could be also ServiceNow. So this is going to actually show 2 interesting things. First of all, let's ask whether the Rainy chat actually knows anything about ServiceNow data. So yeah, it has access to ServiceNow data, which is cool. We can ask questions, we can make queries, we can try to optimize. But the actual interesting part is, so far I was just typing, prompting, getting answers, making conversations, follow-ups, and stuff like that. Now this is a little bit more futuristic, but what about if I just speak to the system? So since I know now there is an access to ServiceNow, I could activate so-called voice mode, and we can talk. So now I'll try to mute myself or just say what I need to say to get my answers. But let's analyze together what are we going to get from chat if I use the voice mode. Okay, so list me how many employees I have in ServiceNow, group by department, only top 3. It's just producing me my results on ServiceNow following the same logic. The chat is now not hearing to what I say, but there should
Top 3 departments by employee count in ServiceNow. 1. Sales, 902 employees. 2. Operations, 848 employees. 3. Finance, 570 employees. If you need a breakdown for more departments or further analysis, let me know.
Thank you. You are the best. Greetings from me and all people in our live webinar.
Thank you for your kind words and greetings. Smiling face with smiling eyes. It's a pleasure to support you and everyone in your live webinar. If you need more insights, reports, or have any IT-related questions, feel free to ask anytime. Best wishes to you and the entire team.
Stop. Yeah, so this was to show you that you can just talk to the system, get the answers, and I was not even using my keyboard or mouse to get this all done. A little bit futuristic, but showing the potential and where the AI would bring us. Maybe if not tomorrow, then in some longer perspective. So that would be all for the live demo from my side. I can get back now to Christoph, and I guess there may be some questions if they were asked during the conversation, during the presentation. We can now take a look maybe, and thank you.
Yeah, so many thanks also from my side, Marcin. So if there are any questions, I think you can either use the chat function, or I think you can even unmute yourself. So feel free to ask whatever you're interested in. We are happy to show you more in detail.
There seems to be something, but...
So the chat function is in the top right corner with these overlapping paper sheets. And I think if you want to unmute yourself, you can go on your name and unmute you via that functionality.
Okay, there seems to be already a question. So let me read it loud, just to the point. What are the underlying LLMs for Rain1 AI chat agent, and how have they been trained to provide deeper insights compared to generic models? Well, obviously, I don't want to go maybe too much deep into details how technically it was done. There is a, let's say, flexibility on that, how exactly and which model is used, provided that some pre-requirements are met for our augmentation. So important thing is that all the data which is coming from RayNet 1 is kind of live. So even if you train your model best, but it's working just only on pre-trained stuff, you might get hallucinations, you might get out-of-date content, and this is not what we wanted. So we are using state-of-art models. Part of it is using GPT, but I guess there are some more involved, and we are injecting the business context from our product, ensuring that the answers are of top quality and they are up to date, showing the real-time data and not being lagging or being just simply incorrect. If that asks the question, we can follow up on that maybe later or spark some extra discussion, but I think that captures the essence of what one of our participants asked. Another one, can the AI chat function be used to ask questions on specific ELP generated by RayNet 1? So generally speaking, this is a conversation. So we can always follow up, and all the data that is available to RayNet 1, which is, well, the RayNet 1 itself, but also on more broader term, the RayNet 1 ecosystem, which could be a catalog, which could be the data hub for any kind of organizational data, custom sources and connectors. You can ask questions, you can get the answers, you can follow up, which means I would say that will be also yes to that one. And the third one I can see over the chat is, can RayNet 1 capture specific SKUs from SaaS PaaS environments, that is, which providers are supported? Well, obviously, it all depends on whether the platform provides that kind of info, billing, usage, SKU, and licensing. But if we had, I don't think we have it in our demo, but if we had, for example, Microsoft licensing data, some various SKU for Teams and some other products, which is available for our reporting, so Data Hub, then yeah, the chat can also access that and provide you insights into specific or all or some filtered SKU. And this is a kind of a generic pattern. So I would say more is actually relying on how much connectors did you configure in our platform, and less on whether RayNet 1 can pull the data out of it. So if the connector is there and it has the data, RayNet 1 can provide you insights, can aggregate, and can summarize the license position. I'm just trying to follow which one was this. Another one was about, can third-party systems, in this case Flexera, be used with agent-based scan data, or can Microsoft license measurements be performed by connecting SCCM data? So our plan is to have a generic platform which connects to, let's say, any third-party systems. We have already some like good support for some of them, and some specific details about which system we are going to cover that in our roadmaps. But yeah, that's our definitely goal. So RayNet 1 is designed to be modular, and we don't really require that you have all the bits, so to say, from us. There can be some combinations. So having scanned from whatever system you may like, the data is going to be obviously imported by RayNet 1, so that chat can have real-time access to it. But that's exactly the idea. There was a question about does RayNet supports engineering applications. If I can ask the author of that question maybe to be a little bit more specific so that it gives me the right context to answer. Otherwise, I'll just maybe push it to the end of the queue. How resource and time intensive is the implementation of a tool in a complex environment, 30K plus endpoints? I guess could be, Christoph, something for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to elaborate on that. So the good thing is we can offer it either on-premise or as a SaaS solution. RayNet 1 is coming as a pre-configured platform. We have out-of-the-box connectors, like Marcin already said. So for example, to SCCM, Active Directory, ServiceNow, CMDB, whatever we want to link. We can also scan agent-based or agentless. The time is mainly defined by how effectively we can utilize already existing inventory solutions. The commercial data upload is super simple. You have seen the upload functionality. In the past, it was really time-consuming to upload contracts and POs. That's not the case anymore. and in the end also to customize the tool to your needs. But typically for a 30K endpoint environment, I would say maximum 3 months. Then you have a robust environment where you can actually work with already.
Okay, so what about our queue?
And then I think there was a question about the engineering applications, PTC, Autodesk. So we have no limitation in software vendors or in software products. The key question is mainly where does the information come from? So for example, Autodesk or any others, if they're licensing portals where we can extract information, then it's super simple. Then we have more than 250 connectors out of the box. If there's a connector missing, I think we can easily develop them. If it is an installation or a hardware-based software product, it's super simple to collect the information either agent-based or via zero touch or from any existing scan solution. And the entitlements, as you have seen, same methodology like for also the commercial ones. You can easily upload them via the AI functionality. So the clear answer on engineering application is yes, we can cover them as well.
Yeah, Gareth, I can ask another one about can the tool automate calculations for complex metrics like application user-based metrics in Oracle ERP HR modules, where data is distributed across multiple tables? If it's granted access to the related databases, can it interpret and correlate the data independently? Well, I'm not an Oracle expert, so I would probably refrain from getting too much into the specific topics of Oracle, but maybe if we stay on the generic level, Data Hub is actually pretty well designed for this kind of scenario. So like multiple tables, maybe multiple instances, some linking between them. And again, as I mentioned before, since we enable Rand1 to consume this data, then I would say this should probably also work for this use case. Again, Oracle, not really in my expertise, but on the generic level, yeah, that's the way the product should be able to interpret and correlate the data. Another question came. We are actually now almost to the point to time, so maybe that will be the last one. And if there's anything, we can just take away with us and get back to the participants with follow-ups. So the last one, what essential information must every contract include, considering that not all contracts follow the same type of or format? That's actually a good question. I didn't mention that specifically, but we certainly recognize that contracts are so much different. And I was kind of teasing this by showing this really bad quality scan, which had just some random fields all over. And the minimum information would be, I would say, well, at least which product is that or which SKU. So we can also do a lookup like that. If the contract is just generic, then probably there must be some extension to it, which just says, so, well, which product right did we just bought, or was it, I don't know, maybe a maintenance or extension? We can get some bits of that, but product, maybe a quantity. If not provided, it would be most likely default to one. Would be, from my point of view, the important ones. We are kind of liberal, so it's not that you have to provide all of them. You can leave blanks if you don't know them. You can fill them later if you might need someone else to do that. So there's really not much, to be honest. Just maybe product and quantity would be my picks, so to say.
And maybe just to add it, and you have seen it before, I think there was a confidentiality rate of 90%, and I think it can even be lower. So the tool would directly tell you which information are missing. So for example, if on a purchase order, there's no software product mentioned, the AI cannot extract what's not in there, but the AI can help you to understand which information are missing and what information the AI would strongly recommend that we fill in to give these data set a purpose. And that's the power in the end also of the AI to empower stakeholder to be more productive, more effective, and to be guided what kind of information are required.
Okay, so having said that, I think we can make a right closure to that. it was great and super exciting to show it. Should there be some questions coming after the webinar, just don't hesitate, ask us, contact with us, and we'll then follow up them individually. Otherwise, that would be all from my side.
Yeah, so also many thanks from my side. If you have any questions in the next days and weeks, if you want to have an individual sessions, if you have follow-up questions, don't hesitate to contact us. We would be more than happy to have individual sessions also with you addressing your specific requirements. So as said, we are now 5 months on that journey. More and more clients are joining us on that journey. So my invitation is still standing. If you're interested in joining us, raise a hand, give us a hint, give us an email, and we can discuss how you can participate and how you can also get into contact here with this AI and making it usable for your daily operations. So don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks for joining us and have a good remaining day, and thanks for joining.